2025 is shaping up to be an epic year at the cinemas, and we'd love to break down our most anticipated movies of next year. Marvel's coming out strong with the Fantastic Four, Tom Cruise is coming back to theaters, we have a ton of sequels, a ton of remakes, and horror's going to be back better than ever. Let's break down our most anticipated movies of 2025.
What's up, movie friends? Welcome back to Raiders of the Lost Podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast. And 2025 is sizing up to be one of the biggest years of the last decade. We have so many amazing movies coming out. It's going to be a jam-packed summer, and it looks like this might be the closest thing we get to 2019 since the COVID lockdown. So I can't wait to see all these movies. Thank God I have AMC stubs.
I know, right?
Otherwise, I'd be spending...
There's a lot of movies to see next year. A lot of really good ones.
This is what it used to be like.
Yeah.
It used to be like a lot of great movies. Like every weekend you had something to see, and especially growing up. So it looks like we're getting back to like that late 2010s where movie theaters were in their highest peak in terms of success, in terms of entertainment value, and audiences were going to the theaters in droves. And my God, we're getting a new Edgar Wright film. We're getting new Superman. We got some horror films like The Wolfman coming out. We got
two Frankenstein movies.
Ari Aster has a new film coming out. Both Safdie brothers have different movies coming out from A24.
Tron's coming out.
Avatar, Return to Pandora, Tom Cruise.
Jurassic Park. This is going to be a crazy year. 2025 I'm very excited about because we have huge blockbusters. Of course, lots of sequels, a couple of remakes, but also a ton of new original movies are coming out in 2025.
And A24 is spending their most money ever on their two Safdie brother projects, which both have around budgets of about $90 million each.
They funded both of them?
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, Marty Supreme's an expensive movie.
So Marty Supreme's actually, I thought it was just going to be a ping pong movie. It's actually becoming a huge espionage thriller.
I gotta see what this movie is. I guess this guy had a crazy life and an insane story.
It's loosely based on, it's like a jumping off point.
Yeah.
And then Safdie wrote something really fictional to go off of
I can't
what
wait.
he did.
I'm very excited, but, you know, I think my number one most anticipated movie of the year, which we might as well get into and start this list off with a bang. You know, this guy has not had a theatrical release, the director of this film, since 2019 when he won an armful of Oscars and Academy Awards.
A basket of them.
Literally. And he has taken his time. He's been producing and developing a lot of projects.
And this film's been delayed.
This film's been delayed multiple times, but it's based off a book. We're talking about Bong Joon-ho, the director and filmmaker of the masterpiece Parasite, as well as several other great films. In his movie Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson, this is based off an excellent book called Mickey 7, which Anthony and I cannot recommend enough. This movie was supposed to come out this year in 2024, got pushed to January 2025, then got pushed again most recently 2 weeks ago to April 2025 because a good weekend for Easter weekend opened up, and so the studio pushed their film there. I believe it's Warner Brothers, right?
Warner Brothers.
The Michael Jackson movie got pushed. So Mickey 17 is finally coming out in April, which I cannot wait. This movie's going to be a sci-fi epic, a sci-fi juggernaut. It's so unique. It's so original. It's going to be hysterical. Robert Pattinson's playing multiple versions of himself as the character of Mickey. Clones are involved. We're in a different planet, in a different world, far, far away from Earth, and I cannot wait.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And for any of those people who are concerned about studio interference, like rumors like that passed around the internet and sent shockwaves everywhere early this year, Warner Brothers gave Bong Joon-ho final cut and complete control over the project. He confirmed that himself, so they were just struggling to find a release date. You know, they couldn't use the actors to promote the film originally because of the SAG strike, so they got delayed a lot, and then the April slot is much better than the January 20th slot they used to have, so it's better for Warner Brothers. They have more bang for the buck. They can get a bigger audience to the cinema than in January, which is always the slowest month for films, so it's nothing to do with the film. It's not like they've been doing reshoots. It's been done for a while. They've just been waiting to release it at the right date, so it looks like April is officially going to be the date, and I can't wait.
Bong's biggest movie yet, $90 million budget.
And it's going to be so unexpectedly fun and exciting and original, and I just can't wait for people to see the story. It's fantastic. All right, next up at number 2 for our second most anticipated film of 2025, our main man, our guy, Tom Cruise, is back.
See you at the movies.
See you at the movies. Finally get to see that. They just dropped the trailer for Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning. And man, I am so juiced. That trailer was unbelievable. I saw it in cinemas last week and my jaw was on the floor. I wanted to scream like a little kid the whole time. It looks epic, immersive, gigantic. incredible action, fantastic ensemble cast. I am so amped for this movie. That might be the final Mission Impossible movie with Tom. Who knows? It's possible. It's possible. It might be the last Mission Impossible. So it could be his calling card for the franchise, but who knows down the line, whatever he wants to do. But I am so excited for this. Obviously, this is another film that was supposed to come out this year, but was delayed due to the SAG strikes. It shut down production, shut down any ability to market the film and promote the film. So they're back in action. I believe they're still shooting, but they're going to hit their release date in the summer. I am so over the moon to see what they have come up with over this time.
Cannot wait. Another massive blockbuster franchise. We're very excited to get the third film in, James Cameron's Avatar. We have Avatar Fire and Ash coming out in theaters in 2025. This is going to be epic. And, say what you want about the Avatar franchise in terms of, I see a lot of complaints always, it's not, we've seen this story 100 times. It's not original. It's just a different planet. At the end of the day, whatever you think about the story, about the characters, about James Cameron, these movies are the pinnacle of spectacle at cinemas. No film franchise, no director is doing anything close to what James Cameron's doing, pushing the boundaries of technology and with advanced CGI and visual effects in movies like this with the previous two, just creating the impossible as reality on screens, then seeing an Avatar movie in IMAX in 3D. The only movies I'll ever see in 3D are Avatar films.
Yeah.
Are surreal experiences, out-of-body experiences because of how realistic it feels and looks. And I'm stoked for Avatar 3. Avatar 2 is just as good, in my opinion, as Avatar 1. And it's an awesome franchise, and we're going to get them more often, obviously. There's going to be one about...
It's not going to be every 10 years now?
It's going to be about every 2 years-ish as they'll be coming out. So I'm super excited to see the CGI fire because it was so impressive to see how much CGI water they created in the previous film. Almost all of it was CGI. They're going to do that with fire, too? Oh, my gosh.
Fire's always been one of the most difficult things to do believably with CGI. It's a very difficult element to portray with visual effects. So I'm really looking forward to how this team cracked the code. And the thing with the Avatar franchise is I think they're wonderful, and they're really important for cinema because they are giving audiences what they can never get from home. When you go to see an Avatar film in 3D, you're getting something that's super special. There's no other way to see this kind of format of this kind of film. It's one of a kind every time it comes out. And so it's really special, pushing the boundaries of filmmaking further and further. And James Cameron is really just the king of sequels. He's never made a bad sequel. So I think this has a lot of potential to be really special. Next up, at number 4, we have a film that we've been anticipating for many years, but we thought would never happen. And then we just forgot. And we were like, I guess they'll never do it. But guess what? They're doing it, baby. 28 years later, from Danny Boyle, the sequel.
I'm glad they're not waiting 28 years. It's been almost 28 years, but...
Thank God they didn't. They're like, let's just do it in 2029. Something like that. So 28 years later, we'll be coming out this summer of 2025. Cillian Murphy's back. Danny Boyle's back. Alex Garland's back. We got an incredible new cast of characters. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Jodie Comer, as well as it looks like a very young ensemble of other actors. I'm really excited to return to this world because 28 Days Later is one of my favorite zombie movies and also one of my favorite horror movies. The second film was kind of a step down, still entertaining, but it's not something I rewatch, but I'll rewatch 28 Days Later anytime. And so I'm really excited to revisit the world with Danny Boyle behind the camera, behind the lens, behind the iPhone.
I know he shot on iPhones.
Yeah, and it seems like the obvious choice to use iPhones for the cameras because he used standard definition digital cameras in the first film. So it feels like it'll feel connected to the original film, more so than the second film even. And I think that having Danny Boyle behind the lens, he has so much energy as a filmmaker, whether it be 28 Days Later, whether it be Slumdog or a bunch of his other films. There's this electric atmosphere, whether with the camera work, train spotting. He is like he's like a sprinter in terms of directors, and he brings so much life to the screen. I'm really excited to see what he does with a larger scale, getting probably a huge budget from the studio for this, and I'm so over the moon that it's getting made.
I'm really curious to see the opening credits and opening titles because the first film obviously has a really interesting one, and Danny Boyle always does something unique for his intros for his movies. Even 127 Hours is a very unique intro, or Slumdog Millionaire. So I'm curious to see what they do for that. And then I'm wondering if it's going to recap the events of what's been going on since the last film and since the original Outbreak. Maybe in the vein of something like Gladiator, not doing the story, Gladiator 2 with the story, but showing what the world's come to. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm very excited for the intro of that movie and obviously the rest of the film as well.
Good point. He loves the title credit. Yeah.
Another really cool film coming out.
Oh.
An original, not a sequel or anything. We have Joseph Kosinski's next film, the director of Top Gun Maverick, teaming up with Brad Pitt for F1. Not too much is known about this film. They finished filming not too long ago because they got shut down because of the strikes and had to go back to filming earlier in this year. And this is going to be a massive film in terms of budget. It's around $350 million. It's one of the most expensive movies ever made. Woo! And we got a teaser for it, right? Where we got a trailer a couple months ago. Looks awesome. And it looks like Kosinski is using his techniques of putting these massive high-quality 8K IMAX digital cameras in really unique places on this vehicle, just like he did with planes and jets in Top Gun Maverick, to get really unique, incredible footage for the IMAX formats. Cannot wait to see it. I'm really curious to see a full theatrical trailer for the story. But Brad Pitt, F1, really driving around. Let's do this.
His next film will be surfers. He's going to put cameras on surfboards.
Astronauts.
I can't wait for F1. I'm very curious, and obviously this is something you're going to have to see in IMAX for sure.
And we're not sponsored by IMAX. We just love IMAX.
IMAX?
I know it sounds like it.
We are best friends with IMAX.
I love it. I've always loved it ever since we went to the IMAX in Natick at the Jordan's Furniture.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're at number 6 for our most anticipated films of the year. And this one is another Tom Cruise one, because we love Tom. We also love the director, Alejandro Iñárritu, 2-time Oscar winner for directing. He's teaming up with the GOAT, Tom Cruise.
Why? Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Now, this film finally has a title. It's called Judy. Judy, like the name.
Yeah, I think it's a working title for now. It's similar to PTA's movie.
Possibly. And so this film is going to be about the lead actor, Tom Cruise, the lead character, will play a man who has created something that is destroying the world, and he thinks that he's the only one who can save it. Along the lines, but I mean, we really don't know much about this script. It's got a great cast: Sandra Hüller, John Goodman, Michael Stuhlbarg, Jesse Plemons, Sophie Wilde, and Riz Ahmed. Emmanuel Lubezki, obviously, behind the camera, like always with Iñárritu, probably the greatest living cinematographer of the last century. This is a Warner Brothers film. I can't wait. It was just announced a few months ago. They already started shooting in November, so they're probably wrapping up filming in January. And it's really going to be amazing to see Tom Cruise not do a big action movie for the first time in a while, because he's such a great leading presence and an actor.
Unless it is a big action movie.
We'll see. We'll see. But, I mean, Iñárritu and Tom Cruise was something I never thought I would see as a pairing.
It's a great pairing. I'm very excited about it. Also very excited about...
Oh, sorry. Did you see them on vacation?
No.
There's photos of them in the water at a beach, just chilling. They're probably getting ready. I think they were like prepping the film and like talking over like a week in a resort or something.
Just having a fun time.
They're in the water, just chill like two buddies.
It's like Scorsese and De Niro when they went to the Bahamas to write Raging Bull.
Yeah. Pina coladas, Hawaiian shirts.
I love those photos. All right, let's move on to another really exciting movie that could be the biggest film in the MCU since Endgame and Infinity War. We're talking about the Fantastic Four. First steps with an incredible ensemble of performers taking on these 4 iconic characters. Now, this is going to be huge because it's going to be a very unique film in the MCU. It's going to have a very retro feel. We're in a different world. The concept art looks really interesting. I love the suits and the designs, whatever we've seen from leaks, from events. As well as this will be sort of the big coming out party for mutants in the MCU.
Yeah.
The big connecting point of X-Men and Avengers and all those villains and heroes connecting together in the same verse to really open up the possibilities of pretty much anything in the MCU. If Marvel's able to nail this film, it'll be massive for the franchise going forward. However, you never know. You know, Marvel's been hit or miss, and Deadpool is a great outlier, but it could just be that, an outlier. And hopefully it's not, because I'd love to see the MCU get things back in full swing like they were in the 2010s. Obviously, we'll never get to probably the world we were at Infinity War and Endgame, but we could probably reach close to that, and I'm very excited to see this story.
What Marvel needs and what it looks like this film might be setting up is they need to finally give audiences something they haven't seen before in an MCU movie. And that seems to be what they're going for in terms of the tone and visual style of the world. Give them something fresh, and they will love you for it. So we need something exciting, something new. Not just another Marvel movie. We need a new kind of Marvel movie. So this movie is very important. It looks like they have the right approach, it seems. All right, our 8th most anticipated film of 2025 is from one of the greatest directors of all time, our guy, Paul Thomas Anderson, teaming up with Leonardo DiCaprio. Their upcoming film comes out August 8th. It has a working title of The Battle of the Batkin Cross. And nobody really knows anything about this film. There's been a ton of stories about what this could be about, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that's been confirmed in terms of story. All we know is that DiCaprio's in it, and he's co-starring with Regina Hall, Sean Penn, Alana Haim, Tiana Taylor, Wood Harris, and Benicio del Toro. PTA has worked with a couple of those actors before, obviously with Del Toro, Penn, and Alana Haim. This is also, by far, the biggest budget PTA has ever had. I think his previously highest budget was $40 million for The Master, about that. So the budget for this film is estimated to be at least $115 million and even upwards to $140 million for the production. So I cannot wait to see what a giant budget Paul Thomas Anderson film looks like. Because obviously DiCaprio got $20 million. That's his salary. But still, there's another about $80 to $100 million for the production. So I cannot wait to see what he is cooking up. He is a singular voice and one of the most talented filmmakers to ever live. And so anytime he makes a film, I'm very excited for. And I can't wait to see him teamed up with PTA.
Cannot wait. Looking forward also to see Edgar Wright back in theaters with a remake, our first one on the list, The Running Man. Obviously the old Arnold Schwarzenegger film based on the Stephen King novel about a game show called The Running Man, where people are chased by murderers, hunters, and assassins across the world to win money, which is all televised. And Glenn Powell, the man himself, the current golden god of Hollywood, the golden boy, is the lead in this film.
Get out of here.
Very exciting. Katie O'Brien's also been cast in this, as well as Josh Brolin. I cannot wait to see this movie. I can't wait to see the unique aesthetic that I'm sure Edgar Wright's going to put into this film, and his unique filmmaking style, the great editing, the great cinematography, the wonderful energy he brings to movies. I'm sure it's going to be filled with a ton of humor as well, like always.
It's going to be a lot of aplomb.
But I'm very, very excited for this. Even though it's a remake, I think this is a movie that I have no problem with being remade.
Anytime Edgar Wright comes out with a film, it's one of our most anticipated of the year, just because he's not just one of our favorite filmmakers working today, but he really is just one of the best filmmakers working today. He's a very unique voice as a director. And
you just said not only is he one of the best filmmakers today, he's one of the best filmmakers today.
Right. I doubled down on my statements. I love you, Edgar Wright.
HR wants you to tell the difference between these two photos.
I love you.
The same photo.
And also, I mean, it's just, man, it's been a while since Baby Driver. That was a long time ago. Long fucking time.
Well, I mean, he's had movies since then.
Oh, yeah.
Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, but I didn't love Last Night in Soho. I think it was really well made. I just didn't love the story too much, but it had all the great elements of an Edgar Wright movie. Yeah. But again, if you have to rank his movies, I'm putting that pretty much bottom of the list probably.
And he's had some fun with sci-fi in small aspects, but this is going to be a full-on sci-fi movie, dystopian future.
What do you mean small aspects? One of his movies is an alien movie.
Yeah, that's true. The World's End. Okay,
it's an alien invasion.
It's more of a drinking movie than
it's an alien movie.
It's a drinking sci-fi movie.
It's literally an alien movie. They're on a spaceship.
Yeah, it's an alien movie and it's in a robot movie. He does sci-fi so well.
This freaking guy.
Anyways, let's move on to our 10th most anticipated film of 2025, Superman. James Gunn's upcoming new interpretation of the famous character comes out July 11th in 2025. And we have a lot of high hopes for this. I think everybody does. You know, this is a good reset for everything DC. And I'm more than anything, I'm curious to see what it is. I'm curious to see what kind of tone it's going to be, what kind of aesthetic we're going to have, how the actors are going to look working together, and what they have set up for, you know, this is going to lead into obviously an expansion of a DC universe of characters. We already know that there's going to be several other DC heroes in this film appearing for at least a scene. We don't really know much other than a couple of some set photos from one day of filming. So we don't know how big it is. I can't wait to see Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor and the rest of the cast. Corn Sweat seemed to be a really solid choice. Brosnahan as well. And it's very exciting stuff. You know, James Gunn has a terrific track record. But this is, you know, there's a lot riding on this one. And they got to nail it. And if they don't, you know, it might be shaky footing to start off with. But, you know, from what they've shown so far, what James Gunn has said so far, what kind of content they've put out about the film, it seems like they're in good hands.
Ari Aster has a new film coming out next year as well called Eddington. I had no idea about this until we started doing our research for this episode.
Really?
So it's a black comedy, but a contemporary Western. So he actually wrote this years ago. He thought it would be his directorial debut, this Western, but it ended up not working out in that direction in terms of his schedule of his filmography, doing Hereditary first as his first big feature. And this cast is great. We have Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, Austin Butler, Clifton Collins Jr. This cast is absurd. This is going to be an A24 film, obviously. The premise, not much is known. The plot follows a small-town New Mexico sheriff with higher aspirations. That's all we got.
Cliff is a fan of the show, by the way. We love him.
Sure is.
Big fan of his,
Clifton's
too.
a cool guy.
We love you, bro. I'm so excited for this. A couple of Aster's movies. You threw me off with how to pronounce his name.
What do you mean? I pronounced it perfectly.
Today.
Why are you blaming me for stuff?
A couple of his movies were old scripts. Beau is Afraid was an old screenplay he wrote years ago. And there's actually a little short of Beau is Afraid, like a little 7-minute version you can find online. I mean, anytime he makes a movie, it's going to be awesome. He's really a fantastic director. I can't wait. And what's cool about his films is he has this kind of mysterious quality whenever a film of his is coming out. There's a lot of like, I wonder what it's gonna be like. Everybody's very. He has this feeling he puts out, like an aura of like mysterious. Like this movie could be about anything because all of his films are so different. So
the aura is peak
aura. On God, for real.
Our nephews kept saying aura when I was home for Thanksgiving.
Is that what they're saying now?
Yeah, it's a big one, aura.
Like how like your vibe is?
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
kind of like that.
Gotcha. All right, our 12th most anticipated film for 2025 comes from acclaimed director Ryan Coogler, who's stepping away from Marvel for one film to make Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. Very little is known about this film, but man, that trailer they released slaps. He shot this with IMAX cameras, and it looks absolutely stunning. Super anamorphic, too. And rumors say, I'm not sure if it's confirmed or not, that this is a vampire movie. It seems like some kind of vampire, some kind of monsters in some regard. It's set in the South in Louisiana. I love the aesthetic. I love the period piece. And also, Michael B. Jordan's playing twins. So we got our first twin movie of the year.
Twins.
And twins.
That's all Coors Light. And twins.
Oh, my God. But Coogler's the man. He's such a great director, and I love his filmography. And you know, anything he sees, I'm gonna be first in line for. And Sinners looks really cool. And they dropped a perfect teaser, an absolutely perfect teaser.
Yep. Let's talk about Josh Safdie's next film, his first solo directorial film. Benny and Josh have separate movies coming out this year.
A narrative film.
Yeah.
Because he made documentaries.
Yeah. So theatrical narrative film. Marty Supreme, starring Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow, as well as Tyler, the Creator. Not much is known about this film besides this plot about this ping pong player. It's a sports drama, and it follows Marty Supreme, who's a hustler turned champion ping pong player, and his journey from playing for bets in Manhattan to winning 22 major titles and becoming the oldest to win a national racket sport competition at 67. So I wonder if Timothy will get aged up for this film. And also, Anthony just said something about espionage, so I have no idea what that's about either.
Outlets are saying that it follows his life for part of it, but then Safdie expanded on it and made his own story. And it's basically like historical fiction now.
Cool.
And it's supposed to be international and much bigger in terms of scale and scope. And set photos are great. It's Chalamet with a mustache and period piece production design, New York City. I mean, I'm sure Safdie, being a New York guy, has been dying to make a period piece in New York City, so I can't wait for it. All right, next up. Kathryn Bigelow, the Oscar-winning filmmaker, is finally returning to theaters with another tense political thriller. The untitled Kathryn Bigelow White House Thriller is what it's called so far. So they don't have a title yet. But this is centered upon a White House staff grappling with an impending missile crisis of a strike on America. This gripping drama also unfolds in real time, which I think sounds really fantastic. It has an amazing cast. So we have Rebecca Ferguson, Anthony Ramos, Idris Elba, Jared Harris, Gabriel Basso, Catherine Missal, Greta Lee, Jason Clarke, awesome, Tracy Letts, Moses Ingram, a ton of great actors. Anytime she makes a movie, you know it's going to be great. She's a phenomenal director and really important to cinema as well. But she has slowed down a little bit, so anytime she makes a movie, it's a big deal. But I can't wait for this.
Yeah, she made Detroit in 2017.
Yeah.
I'm Not a Weapon in 2018, which was a short. And then, yeah, she hasn't had a theatrical release since then, right?
It's been a minute.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Exciting.
But she makes difficult movies. It's hard to fund those movies nowadays.
Yeah, plus,
Yeah.
Not every director does a movie every year.
Yeah.
Some people
Not
take their
everyone's
time.
Ridley Scott and just doesn't stop.
Excited for that. Also excited for Presence, Steven Soderbergh's latest film. He's actually got 2 movies coming out next year. And Presence is going to be really unique because it's a horror movie from the perspective of a supernatural presence. The entire film, you're in that POV of the supernatural being, entity, whatever you want to call it. The trailer looks so eerie and so creepy. It feels like that movie, A Ghost Story, except filmed just from this POV. And obviously this entity is slowly haunting this family who are living in this house. I'm very curious about this film.
Soderbergh, man, he hasn't. Whenever he does horror, he does a really cool job. Like Unsane was awesome for a horror film.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love his horror stuff. All right, next up we have a really exciting film called Caught Stealing from Darren Aronofsky. We got another New York movie here.
Filming right now.
Austin Butler, Matt Smith, a ton of great actors, and Zoe Saldana. So this is about a former baseball player who involves himself in a heist of some kind and in the criminal underbelly of 1990s New York City. We don't really know much about the plot, but, 90s crime movie, Austin Butler. Matt Smith has this crazy yellow mohawk as like some kind of punk rocker. And, yeah, it looks like this film might take place over one day because all the behind-the-scenes photos are Butler in the same outfit. It's possible, but I could be wrong. But Aronofsky's awesome. I'm sat, bro. I'm sat.
Celine Song has a new film coming out next year.
Indeed.
Who just made that incredible film Past Lives for A24, teaming up with A24 again for distribution. She has her film coming out next year called The Materialists, starring Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. Not too much is known. It takes place in New York City as well. The film follows the story of a matchmaker, her ex-boyfriend, and a wealthy businessman. Looking forward
Looks
to
so
that.
cute.
It's supposed to be a romantic
Yeah.
comedy.
Looks so cute.
She wrote it as well.
Next up, we have Tron Ares as our 18th most anticipated film of the year. This film stars Jared Leto, Evan Peters, Joey Turner-Smith, Greta Lee, as well as a large ensemble. Directed by Joachim Roning, not sure who made previously Young Women in the Sea and Maleficent. So he's worked on large projects. We don't really know much about Tron Ares. They've released an image, and then they've released the title. That's pretty much it.
There's some snippets that were released at D23 in Brazil a month ago. Not much, though, and also little tiny things here. But what we do know is Nine Inch Nails is doing the music.
And we do know that it's red.
It's red.
They're not going
There's
blue
a new
this year.
program.
Yeah.
And this new program is Ares, I'm guessing.
So Disney released a synopsis. Tron Ares follows a highly sophisticated program, Ares, who is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission, marking humankind's first encounter with AI beings. Interesting setup. That's from Disney.
Was Ares the war of God?
Ares, I believe so.
Let me double check.
Possible.
Ares,
Or like the
God. Yeah, God of War.
God of War.
In Greek mythology.
This film is expected to come out October 10th, 2025. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they're cooking up, man. There's a lot of potential in Tron movies.
Very cool. We have 2 Frankenstein movies coming out next year.
The War of Frankensteins.
First, we're going to talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which is going to star an incredible cast of Oscar Isaac as Dr. Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster, and Mia Goth, who plays the wife of Victor Frankenstein. Not much is known. It's just, Frankenstein in Guillermo del Toro's voice. There's a behind-the-scenes photo on set of Frankenstein's laboratory.
We do know there's going to be a huge ship because there's on his Twitter he posted some selfies with a giant wooden ship. A giant wooded ship behind him on a studio lot. So it looks like there's going to be some naval activity in the film.
Yeah, and this is something that Guillermo's had brewing in his mind for a little over a decade. In the 2000s, he started, playing with the idea of making a Frankenstein movie, doing drawings, concepts, and obviously he's one of the best ever when it comes to monster movies, and I cannot wait to see his interpretation of this iconic character.
Speaking of Soderbergh and his prolific filmmaking, Luca Guadagnino has no intention of slowing down. He had 2 films come out this year so far, and he has another one coming out already set for the middle of 2025. And we have After the Hunt, and Luca is teaming up with Julia Roberts, one of the biggest Hollywood stars of all time. Also, Ayo Edebiri, Andrew Garfield, Michael Stuhlbarg, and Chloe Sevigny. All we know about this film is a small synopsis. A college professor is forced to grapple with her own secretive past after one of her colleagues is faced with a serious accusation. And they've released one photo. It's just a behind-the-scenes photo of most of this cast in a classroom posing with Luca all smiles and stuff. So that's all we have so far for the film. But anytime Luca makes a movie, we're going to be there. He's one of the best filmmakers working today. But there is no release date set. But we'll see. We'll find out.
Let's talk about the sequel to It Follows finally coming out. I believe it's going to be called They Follow, or It Follows 2. I believe it hasn't officially been chosen. Written and directed by the same filmmaker behind the original, David Robert Mitchell, who has another film on this list coming out in 2025 as well. Almost nothing's known about the sequel. We know that we have our returning cast member of, what's her name? Oh my God. Micah Monroe, who has confirmed that they're going to film it, and it's going to come out in 2025. So she's coming back, which means she's still alive, and she's still beating the curse.
She must have figured out a way.
Just keep having sex.
Just keep walking.
Yeah. just live on coast.
Ride a bike.
It covers 72 miles a day. That's all you get to beat. Very excited about this. I really like It Follows a lot, so I'm curious to see what a sequel is, and I'm glad they didn't rush it, and glad it seems like they took their time, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Another sequel to a really liked horror film, The Black Phone 2, is getting its second film in 2025. The 2021 film starring Ethan Hawke was a big hit. We really enjoyed it, and Scott Derrickson is returning to the helming this sequel, which comes out October 7th, 2025. We don't know much about this, but we do know Ethan Hawke's returning. Mason Thames is returning, who is the lead, and then Jeremy Davies, obviously, who played his dad, so I'm sure we're going to get the sister as well. I'm curious to see how they get Ethan Hawke back into this film franchise as the Grabber.
Very excited. I loved the first film a lot. It was one of my favorites from 2022. What a great year in horror. It looks like this year in 2025 might be
fantastic.
In contention for a better year. Who knows? Because we also have The Conjuring Last Rites coming out in 2025. Supposedly the final film in the Conjuring franchise. Of course, we have Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson reprising their roles for the final time as the Warren couple, Lorraine and Ed. And the premise on this, I think, is the same as usual, just following the events of something that's haunted, whether it's a house or an artifact. We'll find out, but I'm very curious. I think this is one of the better horror franchises out there right now, especially for the 21st century. That isn't a remake from the 20th century, and I'm excited. It should be fun.
Next up, we got Spike Lee pairing up with Denzel Washington for the first time in a while with their remake of High and Low, the 1963 Japanese classic from Akira Kurosawa. This film will also star Jeffrey Wright, Ice Spice, A$AP Rocky, Dean Winters, and a bunch of other actors. An A24 production. We don't know much about the film other than it is a remake of High and Low, which is an adaptation of the novel King's Ransom, which came out in 1959. So maybe it'll be more like the original novel, but we'll find out. And this comes out as an Apple TV release with A24 helping as well. And they don't have a release date yet, but I'm sure we'll find out. We'll find out eventually.
I'm very, very curious. You know, this is one of the best movies ever made, and Spike's remaking it. It's not the first time he's remade a masterpiece of international cinema. Obviously, he remade Old Boy about 15 years ago with Josh Brolin. But I will stay optimistic because Denzel's the man, Spike's the man, and I'm curious as hell. And I'm sure it'll be different enough than the original. Let's move on to what looks like an incredible start to 2025 with an awesome-looking horror movie from Lee Wannell.
Yes.
Wolfman, who seems to be the Universal Monster guy now because he had the sensational film Invisible Man in 2020, which was an excellent movie. What a great contemporary version of that character, and Lee Wannell did such a fantastic job directing that film. Now he's taking on Wolfman, which, you know, Universal's been in development of a Wolfman movie for over a decade, ever since the Benicio del Toro film kind of failed at the box office, and Ryan Gosling's been attached to Wolfman for years now. Finally, we have one coming out. Blumhouse is producing this film with Lee Wannell, and it looks really good, guys. Christopher Abbott is in the role of a father who gets attacked by the wolf and seems to be becoming a Wolfman in the trailer. Julia Garner plays his wife and the mother of their child, who have to defend themselves after this new version of the film where it's sort of like a disease sickness that's changing him versus like a metamorphosis kind of thing. I'm not sure exactly how far they're going to go with the Wolfman transformation. We've only seen bits and pieces of the design. You know, when the windshield clears, is that the final form of the Wolfman? We'll find out. But I think it's a great looking trailer. It looks really unique, especially the sort of Wolfman vision we get and the sensory changes from human to Wolfman. I'm ecstatic for this film.
Me too, man. I can't wait. I'm also really excited for number 26 on our list, The Mastermind, from director Kelly Reichardt, who's a fantastic filmmaker, and she's pairing up with, in my opinion, one of the most talented actors to emerge in the last 5 years, Josh O'Connor. Not much is known about this film. However, we do know it centers upon an audacious art heist amidst the backdrop of the Vietnam War. And this is actually so unique for Kelly Reichardt, whose films are generally small in plot and heavy on character and times. So this is, this seems like a very plot-heavy, conflict-heavy film. And so I'm really excited to see her take on something like this.
Next up, we have Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is going to give birth to a T-Rex. Oh, no, that's not the plot.
It's not Jurassic World Birth. It's Jurassic World Rebirth, James.
So this is their new sort of, I'm guessing, recycle of the franchise, judging by the title. And Scarlett Johansson stars in this blockbuster from Gareth Edwards, the great director, written by David Koepp. Now, the plot in the synopsis of this is 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable for dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the one in which they once thrived. The three most colossal creatures within the tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Scarlett Johansson plays a skilled covert operations expert, Zora Bennett, contracted to lead a skilled team on a top-secret skilled mission to secure skilled genetic material.
Is that all many?
No, it's only the first two. From the world's three most massive dinosaurs, when Zora's operation interacts with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized by a marauding aquatic dino, they all find themselves stranded on an island where they come face-to-face with a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades.
Yes.
I'm assuming the T-Rex is on the island.
Sounds good.
And I like it if they start big but then keep it contained small. You're on an island with the T-Rex. I'm assuming that's the plot.
Yeah. Edwards said in an interview that there are going to be some fan favorite dinosaurs that he threw in there because you have to.
Yeah. T-Rex, please.
Raptors. I mean, that's it. Like, so the Jurassic Worlds were always just, they got so big and silly and overstuffed with giant scope and ideas, and just bring it back to its bare bones. Jurassic Park, you're stuck with dinosaurs around you. You gotta fucking survive. Like, that's it's so great.
Movies about DNA ironically lost their DNA.
Wow. That's great, man.
Thanks.
That was insightful.
Put that on a fortune cookie.
A little 12-year-old girl will be like, what does it mean? All right, let's move on to our 28th most anticipated movie of 2025. And we have Lynn Ramsey, an excellent director, teaming up with Jennifer Lawrence and Pattinson and Lakeith Stanfield. What a cast. This film is called Die My Love. No release date yet, but it's based upon the novel by Ariana Horowitz about a new mother in the French countryside who develops postpartum depression and enters psychosis. We haven't seen any footage yet, but they dropped 3 photos. There's one of Pattinson and Lawrence dancing. There's one of her taking a drink, and then there's one of her looking like she's having a good time at a party dancing. You know, this is a Lynn Ramsey movie. Something crazy is going to happen. Something really fucked is going to happen, and I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Very exciting
Can't
stuff.
come out soon enough.
Next up, we have From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a ballerina.
This is going to be a huge movie for Lionsgate. They had a tough year in 2024. Hopefully, they'll have a good bounce back for 2025 with a John Wick IP coming out. 87 North Productions working on this as well. And this is going to be directed by Len Wiseman, but we all know, or in case you don't know, Chad Stahelski came in and did about 2 or 3 months of reshoots on the movie after their studio was unhappy with the way the film was going. So a lot of this movie was directed by Chad Stahelski, who came in last minute. And Ana de Armas plays a ballerina from the commune or the facility where John goes in John Wick 3 in Parabellum with the Russians. And so there are even snippets of young Ana de Armas' character seeing John Wick from that movie. We're going to go back in time, and John Wick's returning for a cameo in this film. Not too much is known about it. Just a quick synopsis. It takes place between the events of Parabellum and Chapter 4. Eve Macaro, a ballerina assassin, begins to train in the assassin traditions of the Ruska Roma and sets out to exact revenge for her father's death. Besides Ana de Armas, Angelica Houston's in this, Gabriel Byrne, Lance Reddick filmed this before his passing, as well as Norman Reedus and Ian McShane.
Remember my theory about Gabriel Byrne?
Being the
Brother
of John Wick?
No, of Ian McShane.
Oh, of Ian McShane.
Because they look so much alike.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's my theory.
It's a good theory, man.
Thanks, man. It was a good trailer. I thought it was a good trailer.
Yeah.
At number 30 on 2025's year film, we have Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. This film does not have a release date yet, but it will be coming out this upcoming year. This is a absolutely stacked cast. Daniel Craig, obviously, is Benoit Blanc. Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spaney, Daryl McCormack, and Thomas Hayden Church. I mean, what a cast, man.
I love to see Jeremy Renner back, man, after his horrible accident, somehow surviving and somehow walking again. And to see him back in movies, it's going to be really exciting.
We don't know anything about the story, but from the idea of the title, Wake Up Dead Man, maybe someone passed away and it caused someone else's death. Or, I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I'm guessing it's more of a someone left the grave.
Oh, like Sherlock?
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting theory.
That's my guess.
Wow. I like this. And I don't even know. Yeah, I'm not sure where this one's going to be set. I don't know. But
On Earth.
Sure, I'm sure they'll be dropping a trailer very soon. If they want people to get excited, I'm guessing we'll get a trailer in December sometime. Wake Up Dead Man.
Let's talk about a live-action remake of an animated classic. We have How to Train Your Dragon. The live-action film is coming out in 2025. They just dropped the trailer for this. A little teaser, just a little baby teaser.
A little itsy-bitsy.
To show us what this movie's going to look like. And basically, it looks kind of like a shot-for-shot remake in a lot of ways. We have Dean DeBlois, who wrote and directed the originals, is doing the live action, which is really cool. You know, I like to see that. You know, in his words, he said something like, if the studio's going to do it, I'd rather be the one in charge so that it's done right. And Our friend, our guy from the Black Phone, Mason Thames, is
Our
gonna,
pal.
He's going to be the lead.
Our good buddy.
Your good friend. He's playing Hiccup in this, as well as Gerard Butler is reprising his role as Stoic the Vast. And then we have a bunch of younger actors, and Nick Frost is in this movie as well, which is really cool. I'm sure he's going to be a lot of great comedic relief. So we'll see what this movie looks like, but I know a lot of people are very excited about it.
Looks good. It's a great teaser. People are very excited for this.
Mm-hmm.
We're also very excited for The Smashing Machine, which is our 32nd most anticipated film of the year. This is a solo directorial writing outfit from Benny Safdie, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. And Dwayne Johnson plays a former wrestler, mixed martial artist, Mark Kerr, alongside his then wife, played by Emily Blunt. I don't know much about this story. I looked into it a little bit when they announced the film, but I'm really excited to see Safdie do a martial arts film, to see Dwayne do something really bare bones and intense. And this is another A24 film, so the Safdies are both being... A24 is producing both the Safdie brothers films, and I'm not sure when this is going to be released. They just said 2025. They don't have an actual date yet, but I'm guessing if it's really good, they're going to go for Oscar season.
Let's do one more, and then we'll head to our intermission.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about the drama from Norwegian filmmaker Christopher Borgli, who made Dream Scenario most recently. He's got two of the biggest stars on planet Earth in this film, the drama. He's got Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. And this movie, it's a romance film. It's been filming in Boston.
Wicked really awesome exciting. Guy.
Wicked fucking cool
People keep taking videos of them.
Yeah. And not much at all is known about. Actually, nothing's known about this film. There's no premise, no plot.
There is.
What is it? Oh, it's something about
right before their wedding. Something crazy happens to a couple.
You're right.
Yeah,
something crazy happens to a couple.
Yeah, like days
before their big day.
Before their big day.
That's it. But it's got to be a brilliant script to get the two biggest stars on the planet.
It's got to be great. And there's just some footage I saw. There's footage of Zendaya. She like kicks a car, and then there's footage of Pattinson like strolling through the city. But I love Boston movies, man. It's cool to see them in Boston. It's
filmed
awesome.
in England and Boston, but most recently they were in Boston shooting.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Love. Now, before we continue, how about we head to our intermission? And don't worry, we still have a lot more exciting films to talk about coming out in 2025. But before we continue, the best way to support Raiders of the Lost Podcast, in case you're curious, is to go to patreon.com/Raiders of the Lost Podcast to become a patron of the show. You get all kinds of awesome perks, accessibility. You get access to all kinds of perks.
You got it.
Let me rephrase that.
You're doing great, man.
Like access to weekly bonus episodes of the show, access to the ad-free version of every single episode in case you want to tune in without the commercial breaks. They're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. You can tune in on Spotify, on Patreon only. Patrons get that exclusive perk, access to our Discord, free merchandise, video messages. We do a holiday card every year. We're going to do that this year as well. So everyone in our $10 tier gets the holiday card sent to them in the mail. We handwrite your name and everything on the envelope.
Juno stamps it.
It's going to be great. Patreon is essential to our show's survival. It's gotten us to where we are today, so thank you to all of our patrons, past, present, and future. Another great way to support the show, leave those 5-star ratings and reviews on Spotify and Apple. These ratings are integral to our show's growth. They help us get seen by new people. They help us chart. They are integral. Massively important for any podcast out there. That's why people always tell you to leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. About 90% of our followers on Spotify have left a rating. So go ahead, pop on up if you're listening. Leave that 5-star rating right now. And I'll read a written review in just a minute. Also subscribe on YouTube. We're almost at 50,000 on YouTube, which was a lot harder than it sounds to get. It's been difficult.
For what we do, yeah.
It's been difficult to get on YouTube that high. And also, the final way to support us is to just share us with your family and friends. It's the best way for a podcast to grow. Did you know? Organic growth, word of mouth. It's the key. That is the secret sauce to a show's success. So show all of your family members, all your friends, anyone you know who loves movies, our podcast.
This episode, of course, is sponsored by our friends over at movieposters.com, the number one place to get your posters online today. The holiday season is upon us. Be sure to get the film lover or TV lover in your life an amazing poster from movieposters.com and use our promo code Raiders10 to get 10% off your order right now. They have a huge selection of pretty much every movie and TV show imaginable in their poster library. James and I, we just redid our living room. We now have a movie poster wall, and I posted it on our Instagram. It's just covered in amazing posters from movieposters.com. I love it. It looks fantastic.
It's pretty badass.
And I mean, James has this amazing backlit Fellowship of the Ring poster, Kill Bill, Empire Strikes
Original
Back,
print from 2001.
Taxi Driver, Dune, Alien Romulus, Dracula right here. They got it all. They also have a movie poster contest running right now for us. In our last episode, which was, James,
Anthony.
what was the last episode?
The last episode we did was...
You edited it.
It was the Letterboxd Top 100 Most Watched Movies.
On that episode, all you have to do if you want to enter the movie poster contest, which is still live for a few more days, is make a comment in our Letterboxd Most Popular Movies episode on YouTube. Any comment at all that enters you into the contest, because we're going to draw a winner on Monday. So if you want to enter the contest, do that now. Make sure you get a slot. And in the meantime, for the holiday season, be sure to get yourself that present that you deserve. And to get that movie lover in your life, an amazing poster at movieposters.com with our promo code Raiders10.
Let's get into our intermission and start with framed.wtf, the website that presents you with movie stills. And you have 6 guesses to guess the movie. The first still is at a concert, an outdoor concert, and I already know what this is.
You know what this is?
Yep. Hold on, let me check. Well, I think I know what it is. Let me check.
I have no freaking idea. I'm skipping.
Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. All right, second image is inside of a grocery store. It honestly looks like a Ralph's.
It looks like a Ralph's. Yeah,
In Los
that is a
Angeles.
Ralph's. Oh, I'm going to go Stars Born.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, it
That's
is.
what I guessed the first time.
You did the wrong Stars Born.
Which Star Wars Born is this?
2018, you did the old one.
I wrote A Star is Born.
Yeah, you said the old one. The new one has 2018 in parentheses.
Oh, God
So you
damn
got it wrong. I got it right.
I knew. See, that's why I chuckled, because I knew that was A Star is Born.
Well, there's multiple Stars Born, so you have to make sure.
I know.
which
I just
Star is
typed
Born.
it in and hit enter.
Well, be a little patient because it gave the options for all 3 films.
Yeah, I was too excited.
I got it right. You
I got it right too.
You said the old. You said.
I
it was the
said A Star is Born.
You said it was the Barbra Streisand one.
No, I didn't.
That's what you clicked.
I didn't even. No, I didn't click on any of them. I just typed it in.
Then it entered that one.
No, it didn't. It didn't enter a movie. It just entered A Star is Born. I didn't select anything.
I know what you're saying.
So you can literally type anything you want.
I know.
You don't have to select a movie.
Well, it wasn't right.
It was right. It was A Star is Born.
Whatever you put, it wasn't right.
I wrote A Star is Born. I am correct. I win.
Mine says you got it. Yours
look,
says you're wrong.
A Star is Born on the screen.
Yours says you're wrong.
A Star is Born. Fault in the app.
Better luck next time.
Fault in the app. Anyways, moving on. Anthony, you ready for your movie quote?
Yep.
Okay. No, indeed. It is hardly possible to separate you even when he is summoned to a secret council and you are not.
Say it again.
No, indeed. It is hardly possible to separate you even when he is summoned to a secret council and you are not.
I don't know.
That's Elrond in The Fellowship of the Ring.
Merry and Pippin. Sam and Frodo.
Sam. Yeah. And Merry and Pippin. Well, they come in afterwards.
They're talking about Sam.
First Sam, yeah.
Sam sneaking. Good one, man. That was a good one. Here's my quote. No subject is terrible if the story is true, if the prose is clean and honest, and if it affirms courage and grace under pressure.
Fucking hell, I know. Say it one more time.
It's a very monotone, serious voice. No subject is terrible if the story is true, if the prose is clean and honest, and if it affirms courage and grace under pressure.
Damn it, man. I know I'm going to be upset when you tell me what it is. Just go ahead and do it.
Midnight in Paris.
Yep.
Ernest Hemingway. Corey Stoll.
Damn it.
It's a good one.
Anthony, guess this movie release year. Black Hawk Down.
2001.
He's correct.
Yes. It's a good one. It's a good one. What year did Succession start?
2019.
2021.
Wow, they got 4 seasons in.
Yeah. They squirted them out, man. Snuck that in before Godfather.
Movie pop quiz time, Anthony. Who directed The Fast and the Furious? The OG.
The Fast and the Furious?
The original.
That's a good question. It's a really good question.
Who was it?
It was Martin Scorsese.
Imagine.
Lasseter. No. I got the name wrong. Leterrier. No.
Nope.
I don't know.
Rob Cohen.
Oh. Sorry, Rob. Adrian Brody played what magician in a biopic?
Did he play Harry Houdini?
Yes.
Ah,
that
nice.
was an easy question.
What movie?
It's just called Houdini.
I don't even remember that.
2017.
In 2017, he was in a Houdini movie?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I never saw it.
I don't even
It was
remember
a
this
TV film.
Oh, okay. Well, like a streamer?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Interesting. Okay, Anthony, do we have any haters this week? Any unsubscribes?
Oh, we got some haters.
Let me see if we have a new 5-star written review on
got some
Apple Podcasts
haters.
while you do that.
So first up, Darian Wallace on Letterboxd 100 most watched films. James's joke was funny. I spit hot soup at an old lady. When I told her the joke, she also found it just as funny and subscribed.
Thank you. Okay, so this was in our episode yesterday, the other day.
Yeah, but
Let me pull up the poll. So, in our Letterboxd 100 most watched movies, Anthony didn't think my Jennifer Aniston joke was funny. Let's see what the percentage is. 62% said yes. 37% said no. So, 2/3 vote with me. That's a funny joke. That's a good ratio for comedy, man. I'm just saying. Some people are hard to please,
hold on.
like Anthony.
Look at it now. 41% no.
Oh, you just vote? Dick.
And then Ocean Roars. Why is the Spotify Patreon always behind getting episodes? Unpatreon. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with Patreon, but it's delayed.
Yeah, so if
for
you're a
posting.
patron, you can listen to the ad-free version of the show, and Patreon and Spotify link up for patrons, but it's like a day behind.
For some reason, it seems like it's like 24 hours behind when it posts it on our private Spotify page. So sorry, everybody. We're looking into that and troubleshooting it, but it's a weird thing. Like they post, but they just don't post when they usually do. It's weird. Next up. This is my fault. Well, no, I did that yesterday. We recorded yesterday, so I already did those two. All right, that's it. We're good. We're caught up.
All right, we have a new 5-star written review on Apple Podcast. Anyone can leave a written review on Apple Podcast. We love to read them. This one is from Granty Weave, and their subject head is Jerry Seinfeld. Should I do this in a Jerry Seinfeld voice?
Obviously.
5 stars. Been listening for a while. I always love the brotherly banter in your anime reviews. Top tier podcast episodes are Attack on Titan and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, those are the two I did without you.
I can't remember the dude's name, but whoever you have on for those episodes is a cool guy. You earned the 5 stars after the Jerry Seinfeld transformation in the Penguin episode. Keep doing what you do. Don't hold back on your hot takes.
I mean, it sounds like you might be out of a job, man.
Granty Weave, thank you so much for that 5-star review. Hopefully the Jerry Seinfeld impression is what you wanted. I'm glad that it's actually a pretty good impression these days. It's one of my better ones.
You got to learn how to do when he's not screaming. Then it'll be great.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
Been listening for a while. I always love I can't do it. I gotta
work on it.
I gotta work on it. I gotta
Yeah.
watch a Seinfeld episode.
Just watch him do stand up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, but the screaming one's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
It's chaotic.
I'm so glad you like those episodes.
It is chaotic.
I put so much work into those, and James put zero work into them because he wasn't here.
This guy. All right, Anthony, what's your streaming recommendation?
Unforgiven on Max. I watched it last night. And then also Zoolander on Prime. I also watched last night. So 2 recs.
I recommend The Holdovers, a new annual Christmas watch for me on Prime.
Prime.
It's available on Prime right now. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get back into our episode of the most anticipated films of 2025. We left off with the drama. Let's talk about a new film called The Gorge. And this one stars Miles Teller, and Anya Taylor-Joy. We don't know a ton about it, but here's a quick little synopsis from this Scott Derrickson film that he directs and written by Zach Dean. Premise for it: 2 elite snipers are assigned a mysterious mission to guard either side of a deep and impenetrable gorge without knowing what actually lies beneath them. There's some BTS images going around right now of them 2 hooked up on the side of a massive gorge wall, and it sounds pretty cool, man. It's gonna be Apple TV Plus.
I think it looks really cool. The image they released, I'm down. It's a great concept. All right, next up. At number 35, we have Predator Badlands from Dan Trachtenberg, who is following up Prey with this new Predator sequel, starring Elle Fanning. All we know about this film is that it is Elle Fanning as twins, but very different twins. And the premise
One has bangs, one doesn't. Sorry.
so different. The premise is, while traversing a wasteland, two sisters discover their horrifying past. That's all we have so far. And it's set to release November 7th as a theatrical release, not on Hulu.
And there's also that animated Predator movie that's coming out next year as well.
Yes,
that he's also directing.
Yes.
Which is going to be an anthology of multiple eras of humans
From their
versus
perspective.
predators, with the predators as the protagonists.
Cool.
I believe the predator's the protagonist in this movie.
I don't think so. I think Elle Fanning is.
No. Remember we talked about that date?
You are so congested right now. It sounds like you're squeezing your nose.
It's bad, guys.
No. Listen, we were talking about it last night.
It's bad. I probably blew my nose 74 times this morning. I'm not even kidding. I woke up and it was leaking.
You need to get more honey in your life. More tea and honey, man. It's good for you.
I know. I eat honey all the time.
Like, when was the last time you had honey?
Maybe 2 or 3 days ago.
What'd you have it with?
Tea?
When? I didn't see you make tea.
You watch me 24/7?
Yeah.
That's weird. First of all, honey's not like a cure to sinus infections.
It helps your immune system.
Sure, it does. Yeah, I know.
I didn't say. When did I say it was a cure?
It sounded like
said
you were
you should
insinuating
drink-
it was a cure.
I said you should drink more honey.
Yeah, why?
Because it's good for your immune system.
Yeah, I know. Lots of things are good for my immune system. I appreciate the prescription of more honey in my life.
I'm just saying.
I know. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
welcome.
But honey would not have prevented this. I'm sorry.
I also gave you medication today, so you're welcome.
I know. I thanked you for it over and over again.
You gave me shit for it because it wasn't Claritin brand. It was CVS brand.
No,
it's the exact same thing.
No, listen. This is what happened. Anthony said, I have Claritin. So I'm like, oh, thank you, man. You're a lifesaver. So I take it, and then I look at the packaging of this little thing that he gave me, and it's not Claritin. It's generic store brand. Something. And I said, hey, man, this isn't Claritin. You promised me Claritin. You said it's the same thing. I said, well, it's not Claritin.
I said it was Claritin because I knew you would question it if I didn't say what it really was.
No, if you said it's basically Claritin, I would have been like, thanks.
No, you would have been like, what is it then? Let me see. Then you would have double checked the ingredients of
No, I
Claritin
wouldn't
and this one.
Nah.
It would have been a whole thing.
I would have totally
So
accepted it.
I prevented that from happening by just giving you what you thought was Claritin because it is Claritin. It's the exact
See,
same.
the problem here, you need to get off your jump to conclusions, Matt.
I
would
know-
have been,
I know
if
you.
told me it's off-brand Claritin, I've been like, fine, that's cool.
Well, you weren't because I told you what it was and you weren't. You
No,
weren't cool.
the problem was you lied. You lied. You said it was
Whoa.
Claritin, but it's not Claritin.
It's the exact same thing as Claritin.
But is it Claritin?
It doesn't have the packaging. Also,
It's
you just revealed how marketing has completely twisted your mind.
It hasn't.
Because you go, Anthony gave me the generic brand, store brand, not Claritin. The all saving Claritin.
I would have taken either one.
Sure.
I took it, didn't I?
Generic brand.
I buy generic stuff all the time.
Well, yeah. It's the same thing.
At the end of the day, you lied.
I did. It was a little fib. Because I wanted you to take it to get better. I did it for your well-being.
I appreciate it. Let's talk about the next film on our list. Black Bag. Another film from Steven Soderbergh. This is a spy thriller directed by Steven, but written... What?
Another film from Steven Soderbergh, directed by Steven Soderbergh.
Hey, you literally said the same sentence back to back, and you tried to pass it off as two different sentences earlier.
Hey, you made fun of me and I laughed about it.
So, as I was saying, I'm like, he's gonna give me shit. Written by David Koepp, who's the second script he's written for 2025. Interesting. So this is gonna star Cate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, and Naomi Harris, plus Pierce Brosnan and Tom Burke. And there's not much for a premise right now.
It's an espionage thriller.
That's what I said.
Did you?
I said upcoming American spy thriller.
It's directed by Steven Soderbergh. All right, next up we got another classic American director, Richard Linklater, coming out with Blue Moon in 2025 with an insane cast: Ethan Hawke, Andrew Scott, and Margaret Qualley and Bobby Cannavale. This is about the latter days of songwriter Lorenz Hart. I don't know who that was. Lorenz Hart. He was an American lyricist and half of the Broadway songwriting team Rodgers and Hart. So Blue Moon is the name of his song. So it's going to be a musical biopic. Very cool.
Great stuff, Anthony. Thanks.
What?
What? It's like great stuff.
Really, with that tone?
What tone?
The tone of like, go fuck yourself.
Whoa.
Thanks for that, Anthony.
Putting words in my mouth.
Thanks for that, Anthony.
First he lies about Claire, and then he's putting words in my mouth. This guy.
Thanks for that, Anthony.
Gaslighting me over here.
Thanks for that.
What the transcript says a very nice thing that I paid you a compliment.
The transcript?
Yeah, if we had a transcript for this episode.
What was the compliment?
That it's a great job.
Oh, without the context of tone. Great job.
Wouldn't hold up in a court of law, Anthony. Let's move on to Happy Gilmore 2, the long-anticipated sequel to Happy Gilmore. We have Adam Sandler coming back, obviously, with Christopher McDonald and Julie Bowen, Ben Stiller, Nick Swardson, Benny Safdie, Bad Bunny, Margaret Qualley, plus Travis Kelce. This is a Netflix film. Insane cast. It comes out... Let's see what the release date is for this. I'm not sure if it has one yet, but it's coming out in 2025 at some point.
Thanks for that, Jim.
You're welcome.
Get out of here.
I appreciate the compliment.
Shut up. Get out of here. At number 39, we have Fuse, which is an upcoming David Mackenzie film, who is a fantastic director. He's made a lot of really good films, like Outlaw King, Hell or High Water, Starred Up. Excellent director. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Theo James and Sam Worthington star in this film. It's about a after an undetonated
What's up, blah, 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 blah.
After an undetonated bomb from World War II is uncovered at a London construction site, the chaos of the subsequent evacuation and bomb disarming provides excellent cover to conduct a nearby bank heist. I love this concept. It sounds really cool. I love Mackenzie. I love this tough guy cast. Like, sign me up, bro. I'm in.
New bank heist movie. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Love this guy. Very exciting stuff. Let's talk about Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, which I believe will be the first big release, you said, of 2025.
January 10th.
January 10th. Anthony's excited about this. It had a really kick-ass trailer.
Yeah, it's fun.
Gerard Butler's coming back, except instead of being a member of law enforcement in an agency, he's the baddie now, and he's doing a heist with O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character. I think it's really exciting to, take your character and turn him bad because he's just been forgotten by the government and he wants to get paid.
Get that money.
Great looking action.
At number 41, you've probably been wondering where this film has been on our list. Well, Captain America: Brave New World is at number 41 because we're like, it looks all right. It looks good, but then the combination of so many reshoots.
That's it.
New reshoots happening again. Bad word of mouth, bad theater reactions. I'm kind of just like, we'll see what happens. I'm not like clamoring to go see this movie anytime soon. And I mean, coming out, yeah, hopefully it's good, but like I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to see the new Captain America movie. I'm not feeling it this time.
Comes out on Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Yes.
I think the trailer's good. The trailer's really exciting. But because of all the reshoots, and they're back doing reshoots again just 3 months before the release of the film, that's bad sign for me. Not even 3 months, less than 3 months away. And if it was just the trailer as it is and it didn't have the reshoots, I'd be a lot more excited about it. I'm a lot more excited about the Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah, big time.
But Captain America: Brave New World, it's cool. Red Hulk's in it. Harrison Ford's awesome, and Mackey's great as Sam.
But the movie still has to be good.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be a good movie.
I don't care if Red Hulk's scene is awesome. Like, it still needs to be a good movie.
I need someone to explain Sam also having superpower, strength. I mean, in the trailer, he took a punch from Hulk or something. He took a rocket to the shield of adamantium. I know it absorbs momentum and velocity.
Yeah, people are saying it's his suit, but also he has that landing from, like, the atmosphere. And he lands, like, super hard on the ground.
I don't get why they don't just give him the serum and call
why
it
not?
a day.
Why not?
I don't know.
Maybe
he gets the serum in this movie.
But I guess the adamantium suit, they're going to explain, absorbs all the energy from
the shield, or maybe a suit. Yeah,
no, the suit is lined with adamantium.
Oh, is it really?
So it absorb. People are saying that's probably it. It absorbs energy.
That would make more sense to me then, because I mean, even though you have the adamantium, it's still the Hulk punching you
in the jaw, in your bare jaw.
Not the jaw, the shield.
Yeah. Oh, the shield. Yeah.
That's like the poster is him punching the shield. We'll see.
We will see.
Let's talk about Wicked Part 2 of the musical sensation. Pretty excited about this. I liked the first one. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun reviewing it and watching it. And I'm curious to see where it goes, see if our predictions are right about the wizard, and to see how the Wicked Witch, Elphaba, gets melted. Shut up. I got the beginning. Elphaba.
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that.
And Glinda. See what happens with their story.
Yeah, apparently this will be like the Doom Part 2 of the franchise, where it's just going to be all-out action and like a lot of stuff happening.
Can't wait for all that stuff, Anthony.
At number 43, we have Oz Perkins, The Monkey, starring Theo James, based on the Stephen King novel. This looks like a lot of fun. We have a very simple teaser, but it looks bloody. The monkey looks super creepy. I can't wait to see a full-length trailer. And it's going to be, looks like a great follow-up to Long Legs and that huge success. This comes out February 21st.
Let's talk about Alex Garland's next film, coming off his film with A24 previously, Civil War. He has Warfare coming out, which he co-directed with Ray Mendoza and also co-wrote with him. This is going to take place...
Who I believe was a consultant on Civil War, maybe.
Was he? So Warfare, what is the plot of this film? I couldn't really find it. It's got a crazy cast. It has Charles Melton, DeFaro Wunati, Joseph Quinn, Kit Connor, Will Poulter.
Yeah, it's a Middle Eastern war movie, essentially. That's all we know so far.
Oh, it's a Navy SEAL movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all we know so far. There's very little. Very, very little.
Comes out in May, I believe. All right, cool.
Next up, we have Mercy at number 45, starring an amazing cast of Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson from Timur Bekmambetov. This is an upcoming science fiction thriller. We don't know much. There aren't many details about this film, but with that pairing, it's going to be insane. And this is about a detective who has to prove his innocence after being accused of a crime. Although I'm not sure how science fiction will play into that. It must be some cool futuristic society. I believe Chris Pratt plays some kind of police officer, because there's behind-the-scenes photos of him getting a photo taken in cop costume. So that's all we know so far. That's it. But great cast. Can't wait to see it.
How about The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Sign me up. Love the first film. And Gavin O'Connor's coming back to direct the sequel. An excellent filmmaker who made movies like Miracle, Pride and Glory, Warrior, did The Story for Brothers, but in The Way Back he also did too. So all over the place in terms of the genres that he does.
Yeah.
And this is going to be... He actually did the documentary of The Smashing Machine.
Oh, really?
Back in 2002. He was the executive producer of that,
Wow.
which is really interesting. So this movie, not much to know about, obviously, but Ben Affleck plays an autistic accountant who launders money for dangerous people around the world, and curious to see where the story goes going forward. John Bernthal is going to be in this, as well as J.K. Simmons.
Let's go, man.
Sign me up.
Go. At number 47, we have the Bruce Springsteen biopic Deliver Me From Nowhere, which comes out, no release date, but sometime in 2025. They're filming it right now. Scott Cooper is directing this film. Excellent filmmaker. Obviously starring Jeremy Allen White as the boss. We don't know much about the story or what period it's going to take place in. It could take place in one small period or the course of his life. Who knows? We'll find out, but I think he's a great choice for actor. And then Scott Cooper is a really underrated director.
Then we have Nobody 2 is coming out. Bob Odenkirk is coming back after having that heart attack a year and a half ago. He's coming back as Hutch Mansell, the former government assassin who's dealing with his past. Connie Nielsen's coming back, as well as his wife. I forgot she was his wife, just in Gladiator 2. RZA's going to be in this. Christopher Lloyd. So 87 North Productions is going to be busy next year with this film. Not to mention, we were talking about Ballerina producing that, as well as they have that new Ke Huy Quan movie coming out that he plays. It's his first lead action role, Ke Huy Quan, with 87 North. What's it called?
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
Love Hurts.
Love Hurts.
Love Hurts comes out in 2025 as well, which should be a lot of fun.
Next up at number 49, we have the rival Frankenstein movie. However, this is The Bride of Frankenstein. And this is called The Bride, from Maggie Gyllenhaal as a director. Christian Bale stars as Frankenstein's monster, and Jessie Buckley plays the bride of Frankenstein. And this looks like a really cool contemporary take on the story. You can see some interesting behind-the-scenes photos and on the IMDb page of the two of them in modern clothing. crazy makeup and just screaming in the street, running around in the street. I'm looking forward to it. The costume design looks very wacky, kind of like Poor Things-esque. And I'm interested to see what they have in store for us. Looks like a really cool new interpretation. Christian Bale, I mean, he's one of the best ever. Can't wait to see his interpretation of the monster and what he's physically prepared to do in terms of his performance.
Let's talk about Paddington 3, baby. Paddington 3 is coming out in 2025 from Doug Wilson as a filmmaker. Paul King, who made the originals, helped with the story as well. This is going to be exciting stuff. Paddington's going to Peru with his family to look for his aunt, right? Aunt Lucy, who's gone missing in the jungle.
Aunt Lucy, who took him in when he was a little baby.
Looks quite fun and quite creative.
Quite fun.
And just,
it's Paddington.
Delightful.
It's Paddington. Next up, we have Companion, which comes out in 2025. They dropped the trailer last month, and it looks really cool. This is starring Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Lucas Cage, and Megan Suri, Rupert Friend as well. We don't really know much about this, but it looks like, I don't know, Jack Quaid holds people hostage but has some way of paralyzing them because Sophie Thatcher has her arm lit on fire as it's being held out above the table, but she's frozen, but she's crying in pain. So looks like a really cool tease for what could be a really interesting horror film. It's getting some good early reactions, too, from people who have seen early screenings.
Next up, we have Mortal Kombat 2, which looks pretty cool because I think the most exciting part of it is Carl Urban is going to play Johnny Cage, an iconic character from the franchise. Looking forward to this. We'll see how it fares against the first one, which came out a few years ago.
Next up, we have The Karate Kid Legends. I can't wait for this. I just watched Karate Kid, Jaden Smith, and it was actually pretty good. Not bad. But Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan return to this new installment in the franchise with Ben Wang taking on the role of the Karate Kid. This comes out May 30th. There's really not much known about the plot, but you can imagine that they teach him karate.
Cool.
And kung fu.
Next up, we have Onslaught, which is a action thriller from Adam Wingard, behind the most recent Godzilla films, as well as The Guest, which he made with Dan Stevens, who he's re-teaming up with for this film. Most of the details are being kept secret, but it takes place in an underground experiment facility, and it's supposed to be, quote-unquote, a gonzo action horror film.
Gonzo. I like that word, gonzo.
It's going to be A24.
They do a lot of gonzo movies, so sounds right up their alley. Next up, we have another crime thriller and heist film called Crime 101, starring Barry Keoghan, Chris Hemsworth, and Monica Barbaro, as well as Halle Berry, Mark Ruffalo, so insane cast. This follows Detective Lou Lubiznik tracking a jewel thief adhering to the Crime 101 rules, a strict set of guidelines for pulling off the perfect heist. Nobody knows who's playing who, but I'm guessing Hemsworth might be the detective and Keoghan might be the jewel thief. We'll see.
Paul Greengrass is heading back to theaters next year, the guy behind Bourne Supremacy and Ultimatum. Great filmmaker. He's making and coming out with Drowning, The Rescue of Flight 1421, based on the book of the same name. And most of the details are being kept under wraps besides, obviously, the plot of the book. But the movie, it sounds crazy. It's about a plane crash in the Pacific Ocean shortly after its takeoff, and it's flooded, and a dozen survivors sink into a sealed part of the aircraft 200 feet below the surface.
Sounds awesome.
It does
Sounds
awesome.
right up his alley, too.
Yeah.
Next up, we have
because he did United 93.
And Captain Phillips.
That's right.
Yeah. Next up, we have at number... Wow, there's a ton of movies coming out. Where are we? Number 57, The Cry of the Guards. This is from Claire Denis, the great French filmmaker, starring Matt Dillon and Isaac Benko. Must be a young actor. I've never heard of him. As Supervisor Horn is welcoming his partner Leon into the hut he shares with his engineer Cal, a man called Albury appears outside. He is determined to stay there until they return the body of his brother to him, who was killed on the site. Sounds interesting. Claire Denis, one of the best.
Next up, David Lowery's next film, Mother Mary, comes out in 2025 with A24, starring Anne Hathaway, Hunter Schafer, as well as FKA Twigs. I believe Charlie XCX is in this film as well. and it follows the relationship of a musician and a fashion designer. Just got the first BTS still of it last week of Anne Hathaway.
Brat. Isn't she the brat girl?
Charlie XCS.
Yeah. David Lowery's in Queer as an actor.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was like, oh my God, it's Lowery. Next up, we have Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor teaming up for Flowervale Street. Not much is known about this film from the director of It Follows, David Robert Mitchell. But we do know it's an $85 million budget distributed by Warner Brothers. So a huge film. We just know it's some kind of American science fiction film. That's it. That's all we have. No release date. Oh, wait, yes. May 16th, you can expect to see this film. So an early summer movie. There's some behind-the-scenes stills of Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. It looks like they play a couple who seem to be defending themselves from something, because in one shot, he's holding a baseball bat, and then in another shot, she's holding a fire poker. So looking forward to it. I think he's a really creative filmmaker and writer.
I believe it's got dinosaurs in it.
Oh, really?
I could be wrong, but I think that's what I read.
It could be like a wacky comedy then.
We'll find out. We will find out. Let's talk about The Phoenician Scheme, Wes Anderson's next film, who makes 7 movies a year. This comedy, drama, espionage thriller will come out next year, which he co-wrote with Roman Coppola. Insane cast like usual: Benicio del Toro, Michael Cera, Bill Murray, Riz Ahmed, Tom Hanks, Benedict Cumberbatch, ScarJo, Charlotte Gainsborough, Rupert Friend, Willem Dafoe, Bryan Cranston, and Mia Threppleton.
We're at 60. That should be up way higher. I didn't realize
realize that there was a Wes Anderson.
I didn't realize that was coming out that year. So we're gonna just retro say that should be in the top 15.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's up there.
Yeah, it should be way up there.
I'm sure a lot of people didn't even know that it was coming out.
Well, now we do. Thanks to James.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, that's one of my most anticipated of the year now. Next up, we have Guy Ritchie's In the Gray, which comes out January 17th, so very soon.
Just hit post-production a few months ago, yeah. 2
agents and a woman team up to get a hold of millions of dollars in stolen money, starring Henry Cavill,
Fix that, yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Itza Gonzalez, Rosamund Pike, as well as a bunch of great other actors.
Itza Gonzalez.
There's some... Oh, sorry, Itza. Sorry, I gotta get your girl's name right.
She's very pretty. Henry and Jake in a movie? That's exciting.
Yeah, there's some behind-the-scenes photos of the pair of them, and man, this is an exciting team-up. I can't wait. Fuck yeah.
So isn't Havoc the next film on our list we have from Gareth Evans, written and directed, the man behind the Raid films. Havoc is going to star Tom Hardy, Forrest Whitaker, Louise Guzman, and Timothy Olyphant.
Nice. Great cast.
Premise is, after a drug deal goes awry, a bruised detective must fight his way through a criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son while untangling his city's dark web of conspiracy and corruption. Heck yeah.
So that's the synopsis for we talked about that film on Movie News last week.
Yeah.
So it's cool. That sounds fucking awesome. I love it, man. I love it. Let's go. That also should be higher. Sorry. I want that to be higher. That's going to be in the top.
It's all good.
That's in my top 25. No, yeah,
it's on the list. Yeah, it's all good.
I'm looking forward to that more than Paddington 3, is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I love Paddington 3, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. All right, next up we have Thunderbolts. Asterisk. And Marvel said we're going to learn why there's an asterisk there in the title.
Asterisk. There's another letter in there you're missing.
Asterisk. From director Jake Schreier. This stars Florence Pugh, Lewis Pullman, Harrison Ford, Wyatt Russell, Sebastian Stan, David Harbour, Olga Kurylenko, Hannah John Kamen. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this movie. I don't really know what to expect. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see. I have modest expectations for this. We'll see. We'll find out.
Let's talk about Pixar's next film, Elio. It's about a space fanatic with an active imagination and a huge alien obsession. And when he's finally beamed up to the Com Universe, an interplanetary organization with representatives from galaxies far and wide, Elio's all in for the epic undertaking. Mistakenly identified as Earth's leader, Elio must form new bonds with eccentric alien lifeforms, navigate a crisis of intergalactic proportions, and somehow discover who and where he is truly meant to be.
Nice. Now You See Me 3, the third film in the Magician franchise / heist movies, is coming out November 14th, 2025.
Just a wrap last week.
Jesse Eisenberg, Ruffalo, Harrison, Franco, Fisher, Kaplan, Freeman, Radcliffe all return, as well as Dominic Sessa has just joined the cast, and Ariana Greenblatt. Rosamund Pike as well. So a lot of great new actors to join the ensemble. This is quite low on our list because I have not seen the first two. So I gotta catch up on that.
Have you ever seen them either?
I've never seen them. Never seen them. But Ruben Fletcher is directing this. Yeah. I'd see this just for the cast. It's awesome. Great cast.
Next, we have Final Destination Bloodlines, the sixth film in the supernatural horror franchise, the first one in quite a while. Not much is known from this New Line Cinema produced film, directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein. And it's going to feature a new young hot cast of actors next. This is Warner Brothers Pictures.
Also, following up another horror film, Heart Eyes comes out February 7th. This just released a trailer, and I was like, this could be awful, or it could be a lot of fun. So, dangerous territory to tread.
Same thing with The Naked Gun in 2025. So, the iconic spoof comedy franchise is getting rebooted. Story by Seth MacFarlane. And then we have Liam Neeson is going to play the lead role in this.
That sounds fun.
Drebin Jr., Pamela Anderson, Paul Walter Hauser, Kevin Durand, Danny Houston, Busta Rhymes. Pretty good cast. So, we'll see if they're able to capture that great spoof humor from the originals.
I think there's a lot of potential for it to really work, because Liam Neeson has shown a few times that he's very funny.
That Twix bit with Ted, the Tricks bit with Ted is great.
I think that it could be really good. Next up, Megan 2.0, the sequel from Blumhouse, hits theaters June 27th. So, this is prime real estate for a movie release, and they expect this movie to open huge as a PG-13 film. I like the first one. It was all right. It's pretty good. So we'll see what they're cooking up for the second one.
Next, let's talk about Michael, the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic, directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Michael Jackson's nephew, Jafar Jackson, as his uncle. This is going to follow the life and career of Jackson from his time with the Jackson 5 as a child in the 1960s and 1970s to his final weeks before his death in 2009.
Then we have Saw 11, which is directed by the same filmmaker as Saw X. John Kramer, a.k.a. Jigsaw, is confirmed to be coming back. Otherwise, we don't know anything else about this upcoming Saw movie.
Next, we have The Electric State, the Russo brothers' next film with Netflix. I don't think it's going to get a theatrical release. March 14th, with a budget of over $320 million, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Ke-Huy Quan, Anthony Mackie, Woody Harrelson, Brian Cox, Jenny Slate, Giancarlo Esposito, Stanley Tucci, Jason Alexander. I haven't seen him in anything in years. Wow, money talks. Set in an alternate 1994, a young girl is approached by a robot who claims to know her missing brother, and with it, she sets out to find him. Cute.
Next up, we have Lilo and Stitch live-action adaptation. I only saw Lilo and Stitch maybe once or twice when we were kids. Can't really remember much
about
about
the show.
The movie.
Yeah, and the show was pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm whatever. I mean, I'm not huge about live action adaptations of Disney classics.
Everything.
So I'm not super excited for it, but I hope that fans of it enjoy the film and have a good time, and hopefully they do right by the fans. We'll see.
We shall see. Let's talk about another movie on our list. We have Minecraft the movie, which is coming out next year. Pretty soon, right? It comes out April 4th, 2025.
Wow.
Directed by Jared Hess. Cast are Jack Black, Jason Momoa, Daniel Brooks, Emma Myers, and Jennifer Coolidge. We'll see. The trailer's getting a lot of mixed responses. The first trailer got destroyed, sent to Mars, man. That thing got lit on fire. It shot out of Earth like a rocket. People disliked it a lot. Second trailer, a little stronger, so we'll see.
Yeah, I've never played Minecraft, though, and it's not an IP I've ever been drawn to in any way, so it's not a movie for me. So I'm not really that anticipating of it.
Yeah, that's why it's number 74 on our list.
And then number 75, our last on this list, no offense or anything, Snow White. I don't really see myself seeing this movie. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. Again, not really into live-action remakes of animated classics.
What's the matter with you?
It's not my cup of tea. It's not
yeah,
my cup
this
of
is
tea.
a movie, again, Disney the normalcy at that studio right now is movies going through extensive reshoots multiple times. This one's going through multiple extensive reshoots.
Yeah.
Probably been remade a few times. Don't love the trailer. The second trailer, which they did not release on the internet, is just playing in theaters, and it
looks all right. Looks all right. Again, it's not for me, it's not for you, but I hope that fans of Snow White enjoy it, and I hope that new young kids get to see the story told in a new way that's exciting and fun for them. But for me, I'm like, it's whatever. I don't really care.
Hey man, you don't have to see it, man.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't like princesses.
But
it's fine.
For Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise,
yeah.
baby. Number two on our list. Like we said, there's a lot of movies coming out next year, everyone. Tons of great-looking flicks, blockbusters, horror, independent, big budget, off-the-chain, superhero movies. All of it's coming out. 2025 is going to be a huge year, huge summer. 2026 will be another epic year.
It's coming back, man.
But cannot wait for next year to start off with Mickey 17. Very excited about that. That's our number one movie for the year for anticipation. It's going to be fantastic. We hope you're all excited about next year, because there'll be plenty of movie episodes and reviews of all these movies, for the most part. I don't know if Anthony wants us to do an episode on Snow White. Probably not. Just kidding. But in the meantime, everyone, take care.
See you next time.